Hello, in this quick video, we're going to introduce you to the dashboards tool available in SmartMLS Stats. And what this tool is really the ability to drill even further into the market reports to property level dashboards. We all know that during the course of a transaction, especially a listing transaction, there's lots of different stages and decisions that need to be made with a client. The goal of this dashboards tool is to serve up the right data at the right time. So we're going to take you in and show you a couple different ways you can use this. So you'll notice that when we first come into the platform, the system is going to actually lay out what those stages are from the beginning of listing a property all the way to the closing. Of course, the first stage we are all familiar with is setting a value on a property or running a CMA. What this is going to do is go beyond that to the additional stages like setting expectations with your client, looking at which day is the best day to list, handling price drops or if and how to do them, all the way down to evaluating offers. So the goal of this particular tool is to break down those specific stages and serve up the right data at the right time. So first, what we're going to do is narrow down to our market area. Since this is property level data, it's going to work a lot better if we're looking at a very narrow geography. I'm going to go down to this zip code here and start at 06611. Now, the first thing I'm going to look at is the home values map. And so we all know that we're going to run a CMA and pull comps and all of that. This is just another way to supplement that conversation by laying out all of the transactions in the area by the price range and the size range. So for example, as our size of our property goes up, you can see that the price of the property goes up, and we can very easily narrow down into a particular size range that makes sense with our client and display all of the comps visually. This is just another way for you to enhance that conversation and provide more data to your client. Now, occasionally in the price conversation, there is a price per square foot that needs to be determined. This is a tool that's going to help you communicate that. We will lay down all of the price per square foot in that market, show you where the average was, and then of course give you a nice look at the price per 1 square foot of real estate and how that's changed over the past couple years to show you if you can be maybe more or less aggressive on the price. This just gives more data at your fingertips to do that. Now, in the transaction from there, we typically look at trying to set expectations about listing. And one of those is about the time a property sits on the market. So this right here is going to take all of those pending sales, 53 that occurred over the last 2 months, break them down, and really show us what we can expect in terms of time on market. We can go even further by looking at the map over here or expanding it to really see which pockets of the market have moved faster or slower. We can see here on the perimeter sections of the market, we see more larger dots that indicate those are typically selling slower than the ones on the interior sides of this market. Now, moving on, once we've set expectations, we may want to talk about when to list the property. Now, of course, your client can list whenever they want. This is really just a way for you to show that you've done your homework and provide the cold, hard facts about which day has traditionally brought the highest offers. We can see here that listing on a Wednesday at 3.4% over asking brings, for some reason, tremendously more competition than listing on a Monday or Tuesday. And again, this is just to show that you have the data at your fingertips to make smarter decisions. Now, after we've listed the property, the next question, if we haven't gotten offers in the first couple of weeks, sometimes the idea of a price drop comes up. Now, this can be a difficult conversation to navigate. And of course, we want to give you more data to do that better with the following dashboard. So this dashboard is basically going to lay out all of the details you need to know. So we'll start at the 35 properties that are listed similar to them in this area. 13 currently have price drops. So we can see it's a pretty common thing, and about 1 in 3 do it. Now, if they decide to do it, the median price drop has been about $24,000 or 4% from a median asking price of $629. Now, on average, this typically happens about 32 days after listing. We can see all of the times that these sellers decided to do that. So this is a great piece of information. If we have a client at 15 or 20 days, we can use this to suggest that maybe they hold off at looking at a price drop. Now, the last question is, if we do a price drop, how effective is it and how quickly do other properties typically go under contract? So we can see in the last 90 days that typically 37 days after that price drop is when other folks have gone under contract. And here is a breakdown of all of those other sales that have done price drops and how quickly they went under contract. Now, the final stage in the transaction, of course, when we're lucky enough to get an offer in, we want to evaluate that offer and see versus asking price if it is par for the course. So this tool right here is going to basically break down all of the sales that occurred in the last 90 days. We can, of course, adjust that if we want and show that over $19,000 over asking price has been the average. And here is the breakdown of all of those. Now, if we've been listed on the market for 30 days, we may want to look at similar sales, let's say 30 to 50 days on the market, and see what typically happens for them. And in this case, we can see that actually drops the typical winning offer to under asking price at $1,000. The goal of all of this is really just to give more data at your fingertips to successfully guide your client in accepting or negotiating an offer. So this is the dashboards tool. Hopefully this is helpful. We'll be rolling out more training on this in the future, and I want to welcome you again to SmartMLS Stats.